Now, you could choose to not have a child. You can choose to not, you make that choice. Or maybe for whatever reason, we're not able to.
Will you choose family? Yeah. Will you choose eternity when there's no incentive socially for you to do that?
It's like, this is your body without a baby. This is your body without a baby.
Here's your bladder. And then here's your bladder with it.
Yes. Exactly.
How does your body function with such crushed organs?
Yeah.
And so she said the need for kids is gone. Those who are having kids are those who want kids.
Economies cannot produce children. Governments cannot produce children. Schools cannot produce children. So it's important that we remember the value of children, even though there are costs associated.
This episode is brought to you by Truth and Treason, the new series. If you thought the movie was cool, wait until you see this. Check it out at angel.com/Ward Radio.
Welcome back. This is another episode of Women of Word Radio. I'm in studio today. Brooke of Brooke and Rachel is with us, and also Joy. Hi, Joy. And Charlotte is also with us today for an interesting topic about, I don't know, horses, handbags, babies. I don't know. Go ahead, Charlotte.
Great. Thanks, Brooke. So I saw this BOU speech on my feed a couple weeks ago. It is by Catherine Ruth Pakaluk. Ooh, I like that last name. Why Children Became Useless, Faith and the Future of the Family. You all really need to listen to it. It's great. So her big starting premise is that children are like horses. So before Henry Ford invented the Model T, everybody had horses. They were essential. Everybody needed horses. They needed them on the farm. They needed them for transportation. They needed them for so many reasons. And horses required a lot of land, required a lot of maintenance, required a lot of feed. They made a lot of waste. They could only go so fast. They were... they could get sick. So when the car came out, horses need completely diminished, like evaporated, gone in just a matter of years. Nobody needed horses anymore. Cars were better for every reason. And the only reason people had horses anymore is because out of luxury. They wanted them. Nobody needed horses anymore. The only people who had horses were those who wanted them. And she's saying that children are the same way. A long time ago, people needed children. They needed them to run the house. They needed them to run the farm. They needed them to take care of, like parents needed children to take care of them when they were older. And also, if you wanted to have a sexual relationship, children were needed in that. So there were all these needs for children. But now machines have replaced the need for children to work. And government has replaced so much social need for children with the elderly. And then with birth control, you can have sex and not have kids. And so she said the need for kids is gone. Those who are having kids are those who want kids. So very powerful talk. She talks a lot about plummeting fertility rates. It's so sad. South Korea has the worst, and that's where I serve my mission. It is so hard to have kids there. The culture there is just so unfriendly to children. They're at school all day, academies all night. It's so sad. Anyway, as you ladies were listening to this, what were your thoughts? We've got some clips. We've got graphs. Go.
It was what's interesting is, it's interesting how something so subtle has kind of snuck up on all of us. Like, this is kind of a topic where all of a sudden, I don't think people were really talking about this 5 years ago even. And now all of a sudden we're becoming really aware of this, like, future, like just this declining birth rate. We went on trick-or-treating a few weeks ago whenever this airs. And we were in this neighborhood that is usually like packed with kids. And there was a lot less kids that night. And I think it could have been like, I don't know as there were necessarily less kids in the neighborhood, but I was thinking, this is what I said to the friends we were trick-or-treating with. I'm like, this is what the future looks like. Like the whole night, we're like, where are the kids? There's usually tons of kids everywhere. And I was like, at this rate, though, this is what the future is going to look like because, you know, I have 4 kids. What's neat about this panel, too, Brooke, myself, Charlotte, and Joy, we all have kids in different stages of life. We have different numbers of kids. Like, but I think that, like, you can you can see how there's been a cultural shift towards valuing children or not seeing them more as like a hindrance, especially with Gen Z, seeing it as more of like something that's going to hold you back rather than maybe how children have been viewed in the past, where it's like an experience I want to have.
An experience I want to give my children too. I want them to experience life. I want them to experience life in my home. I value motherhood. I value parenthood. I value family. I want to bring children into this beautiful atmosphere. Okay, let's watch a clip. All right. So we've got, this was beautiful. Catherine Pakaluk, I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. She talks about, so she has this beautiful book, and she interviews women who have many, many kids, shattering the fertility rates. And it's beautiful what she says is the purpose of their life. So will you please play that clip? It's called Purpose of Their Lives.
In number, they had 5, 6, 7, or more children, as many as 15. In kind, like the biblical Hannah, they took childbearing to be the purpose of their lives and the meaning of their marriages. They quietly arranged their affairs to welcome new life. They fit their passions, interests, and professions around children, rather than fitting children around those things. Childbearing was a way of life for them and not a mere season of life.
It's interesting. When I hear that, my worldly ears sometimes are there where it's like, ew, that's a low purpose.
The purpose of their life.
Right. It's like, oh, just controlling, sticking them in the home. But then like, okay, go away, yucky voice. This is so meaningful and so purpose-filled. Raising children as my children. So you were talking about stages, Rachel. So 2 things. I've got a bunch of teenagers now and some little kids still. The other day we were looking at family videos of when they were all little, and I thought that was the funnest stage of life. Like just going to parks all day, playing with toys, reading books, playing with mud. Like that was so fun. That was so fulfilling to see my kids just have this beautiful, carefree, messy childhood full of laughter. That was so fulfilling in that stage. And now I have these teenagers, and seeing them have their own desires and their own talents and their own motives. Like my kids right now, they're having all these friends over and they're made pizza for them, and they're watching this movie, and they're talking about the skiing trip they're going to plan. And they have a gig next week for their band. I mean, this is so exciting. And to see children who didn't exist before I brought them into the world. Okay, they weren't here. I brought them here, and they came with their own personality, but they also have some me in them, and they also have some Jonah in them. And to see this all come together and to see them become their own person is so exciting and so fulfilling. I frequently regret nowadays stopping at only 6, because like, what else? What other people could there have been? And after Elder Oaks talk and Elder, was it Renlin at conference, and they're talking about kids, I was like, okay, how can I sneak more kids in this family? What does the Bible teach me about this? Oh, I know. Get Jonah drunk, dance, then I can trick him. Right?
Very biblical.
Very biblical, right?
And just in case the viewers didn't catch it, did you say you stopped at 6? Like, I think that's amazing. Many blessings in Charlotte's household. So
just think of the potential. And so that's what, okay, so go to the highest motive to have kids, that next clip. This is talking about just the excitement and the supernatural power of creating and bringing life to this earth. And yeah, it's a great thing if that's your purpose in life. And so many everything else can just be overshadowed by how amazing the power to bring life into this world is.
So, and just to kind of piggyback on that, Charlotte, because if we just hear what she said on face value, like purpose of life or whatever, then it, because I think society makes things that are amazing and beautiful into something icky.
Right.
But nobody said, hey, I bought a Corvette and I'm going to put it in my garage. Yeah! No, it was it's to drive it. Like, get the car, put it on the road, take down if it's a drop top, take it down and ride the car. And so we're females, and our bodies are made up to be able to carry I mean, we are like a one-stop shop, really. We can carry a baby, we can feed the baby. And for 9 months, we're cultivating this amazing thing. And to say that we weren't set up for that, or that's not the one thing that we were given to do, is kind of, it takes away from that one amazing thing that we were given to do. Like, let's turn it into something amazing. It is amazing.
Don't park this talent in the garage.
Yes, don't park it.
Share the talent, flood the talent.
Exactly. Now, you could choose to not have a child. You can choose to not, you make that choice. Or maybe for whatever reason, we're not able to. Even though our bodies have the parts and we're not able to. So that might happen. But if we are and we're able to and we want to, then it is a beautiful, amazing experience. So I just don't want to take away from that because of what she said and have it be a negative thing, because it's not. It's not a negative thing. It's an amazing blessing. And so I just want to say
it's all about how you say it. It's like making babies is the purpose of your life.
Yeah.
Stop everything else. You're trapped.
You don't have anything else to do but make babies. Go do that.
Okay, that's what the antis like to paint our emphasis on family as, in that negative voice, right? Our last episode, we were talking about Alyssa Grenville, just like,
oh yeah,
it's all about the voice. But if you say, which is
the
true,
tone.
Right?
Yeah,
making babies is amazing, like bringing souls to this world and raising them and giving them the best chance for success. Like, that is an incredible purpose. It is so fulfilling. If that's all you do, yes, do it. Spend every minute doing it.
Yeah, I was thinking, it's funny because my closest friend is my sister's 10 years younger than me, and we both found ourselves pregnant around the same time. And I got married a little later, had babies a little later, but we both were like, it's crazy how much body dysmorphia and like culture is so brutal to young women and women in terms of like seeing our value in what we look like. And I remember when we both were going through this pregnancy, and you're kind of like you're like a passenger in your own body, watching it make this do all these incredible things, and it changes. I know 9 months sounds like a lot, but like your body changes so much during that time, and then you have the baby.
Like a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot. But
have you seen the cutaway posters at the doctor's office when it's like, this is your body without a baby. This is your body with a baby.
Here's your bladder, and then here's your bladder with it.
Yes,
exactly.
How does your body function with such crushed organs?
Yeah,
sometimes not great.
Joy has some recent experience with this.
I do, and I have so many thoughts on this, so I'm trying to not let my thoughts come out all jumbled. But I think it's interesting that, a lot of times we talk about people's purpose in life, and this is what I was going to accomplish in life, whether that's getting a fancy car or getting a promotion or getting doing these cool things, having these neat experiences, traveling, whatever it may be. Having children are eternal. So to say my purpose in life, or one of the purposes of my life, is to have children, I am choosing to eternally bind myself to these tiny people. And that's really cool.
You want to do something long lasting. Well, create something that lasts,
that will outlive
forever,
you.
Right?
Yes. So I think that's a really cool aspect of it. Like, this is gonna last forever.
Yeah.
Elder Ballard's quote, he has this great quote that I think has helped me make a lot of decisions. He says, what matters most lasts the longest. Mm-hmm. And I always love that, because it's like, if I have to make choices between good things, what is the thing that's going to last the longest? Because that's the thing that I should invest in. So that comes back to your point, Joy. It's a great perspective. Children are eternal. And so when you engage in that work of that labor, it's hard.
Labor.
Of creating life, you're creating an eternal, experience. And, my sister and I both, we felt like when we became mothers, when we had our babies and we were nursing our babies, and we were like, oh my God, it was like it clicked all of a sudden. I was 30 when I had my first baby. So it's like, oh my gosh, this is what it this is what my body is for. This is what my womanly body is. Like, I just didn't understand who I was and what it meant to be a woman until I had that experience in that primal way. Like, you have like supersonic hearing, like you can hear your baby cry through walls. It's like
even in the deepest sleep,
even like because you sense when your baby needs you. And
yeah. There was this great quote that she shared when she was interviewing all these women with many, many children. In her talk about you, she shared some of their quotes. And I love this one from a mother with a lot of kids. I've had to sacrifice some of my own interests and pursuits at this time. I don't think they're on hold forever. I think as a mother of a large family, you have to understand sometimes things are on a back burner. It doesn't mean the burner is off. It means you're rotating priorities as needed. And I've done a lot of that. I loved that.
I love that.
They're on the
too.
back burner. They're still warm on the back burner. They're still there. Their burner's not off. That's not dead. That's not your priority right now.
And what a thing to prioritize. Like, I am prioritizing the eternal souls of other people.
I think I can say that I'm as the oldest, probably person in this group. I haven't.
The most experienced.
Thank you.
The wisest.
I got more seasoning. Thank you. I love that she made that statement, because I don't think I've not accomplished or done something I've wanted to do in life. Did I set stuff aside and not do it today? Maybe, but that's life and that's everything that we're doing. So I literally think I could have still done all the things that I've done outside of being a mom. I would not feel as fulfilled. I wouldn't have, I just don't know how I could express to someone who maybe doesn't want to have children. If they're listening to this and have a change of heart, because we're talking about how amazing it is. Now, is it easy? No, but nothing great and amazing is easy. But I can say this, I have not accomplished things because I'm a mom. You
don't have regrets in your non-family life that were just these holes that you didn't
literally
get to do.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero regrets. And if I did my scroll of all the things that I've accomplished and done and felt good about, like, I don't have any, and but I can tell you this, if I never had children, I would regret that. I would regret that now. And I go back to a time when I was in my second year of college, and I needed extra dough. So I walked across the street and started working at an elderly home. And there was a lady in there, and she didn't have children. And I'll never forget it, because I would go back after work and read to her because she didn't have children. And I didn't get paid to do it at that point, but I had some time here and there, and I would go back and read her stories. And I remember, like, this lady, she had bed sores that were just sad, because just bleeding on her, it was sad. I just even thinking about it, I can't get it out of my head. But the thing that she said to me was, honey, if you can have children, I am so lonely, and I'm so grateful that you're here reading to me. If you can have children. And I did all these things, and she talked about all these amazing trips she went on overseas, and she was with this like singer guy, and then she did all these other things, amazing fun, like, wow, that sounds so amazing. But she said, it doesn't matter, none of it matters, because I don't have anyone. Wow. I just am like, it was just, it never, that thought and that conversation never left my mind. She's not the reason why I had children, but that thought of, like, gosh, go live your life, have children, make choices, be family, just do all of that, but have children. And the things that you learn from that, oh gosh, I just
Brooke,
can't say.
Thank you so much. That's so amazing. There are so many, you ladies have put a lot of great graphs and charts in Discord. I want to bring up the one that Joy posted. Younger and older adults' reasons for not having children differ widely.
Yes.
Pull that up. The yellow is adults 18 to 19, unlikely to have children, like not on the path to having children. And then the green is adults 50 plus without children. Okay, doors kind of closed, not going to have children. I thought it was very interesting. The number one reason why adults age 18 to 49 are unlikely to have children is they just don't want to. They just didn't want to. And I think, where did that desire? Who messed up on passing on that desire to them? They just didn't want to, like, and I think that is such a gift that in our church, we talk about families all the time. We hope to plant that seed of desiring to have children from a very young age, so that they don't get to be almost 50 and like, I just didn't want to. And then, like that lady you were talking about, Brooke, maybe regret it later. But there's some, I think, okay, so on my shirt, I'm a familyist. There's so many things that we can do to help people want families, to have them want children. And everything from our attitude about kids, how we behave around our kids, how stressed we look when we're driving them places, like, be joyful about it and share that joy, so that if you're with someone who just doesn't want to have kids right now, that your love for kids can be infectious.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this episode as much as I am. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to this episode's sponsor, none other than scripturenotes.com, the coolest way to read your scriptures online.
You can open up your notes for each one and type as much as you want about each verse and the insights that you get. You can do powerful Boolean searches using the search pane.
I use it myself every day and in every single episode, and I hope you love it as much as I do.
Scripture Notes is the most flexible, powerful tool available to you to study the scriptures with.
For a free 2-week trial, make sure you guys check out the links in the description. Now, without any further ado, back to the video.
Two thoughts on that. Sorry, Rachel.
No, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, Brooke, thank you for sharing that. Because I don't know, I think I'm the youngest one on this panel. And I do feel like there's more that I want to do in my life. But now is not the time. Right now, I have young children that need me, and I'm prioritizing that, and that's okay. And so it's okay for me to feel this little bit like I want to go do other stuff. I want to go do more besides just having children. Just, it's a big thing. But I am prioritizing this right now. So thank you, Brooke, that there's...
Well, I'm a big
just
believer,
need to remember.
if you're coaching, why can't I have my child on my hip?
Yes.
If I'm doing this other thing over here, why can't I have my child? And they learn from that. And you're still gathering those things and dealing with teaching in a whole different realm. So
yes,
girl,
I just needed the reminder. I'm like, okay, I can be patient. I'll get there eventually. Right now, this is my focus, and I'm okay with that. Other things on the back burner, that's okay. Charlotte, you were talking about, this idea that, like, why don't people have kids? And the number one reason in this study, I didn't love the study. It wasn't the greatest methods, but the number one reason among younger people was that they just didn't want to. And what is interesting to me about this is that we live in a world where that's possible. To just say, I don't want to.
But they also don't want to clean their room or do the dishes or do their homework.
But if you think about it, before,
clean your room and have children.
100 years ago, how long ago? Birth control wasn't a thing. Mm-hmm. So, this idea of, I just didn't want to. If you want to have sex,
boom,
you're going to have children. It is what it is. So this is just totally novel that we live in a time and a phase where people can say, I just don't want to.
But
okay, two more things I want to talk about this. There's one here. There's one here in the bottom where it says negative, a reason why people don't have children. Negative experiences with their own family growing up. Okay, this is why we need to spread the gospel. You remember Megan Kohler? She was on our show. Mm-hmm. She grew up in a very, very difficult, traumatic family. Her childhood was horrible. And she found the church. And in the church, she learned that men can be amazing, and men can be safe, and men can protect you, and men can cherish you, and men can help you and be kind to you. And she had never experienced that before. And so negative experiences with their only family growing up, as we spread the gospel and help people learn how to be Christ-like and how to control their natural, their animal instincts, like that's just going to bless the world. Also, concerns about the environment. I wish I had these graphs. There's a global trends every smart person should know and everything. The environment's doing great. And that should not be a concern. My mom has this friend, this old man, he never got married, he never had kids. He, in front of all my kids, was like, the world is like an orange and the peel's the outside and humans are just mold on that orange. What?
I love
You're
Charlotte's
calling my
voices.
children just mold?
Oh my gosh.
It's a horrible thing on the earth. So
He's real fun to have at parties.
so there's like, the environment's doing great, guys. That should not be a concern. And like fertility, like global population is going down. And so we don't need to worry about the world being just, destroyed by people. Like, let's do what we can to
Anybody remember what people said it would cost to have a child, and how many, like it from 0 to 18 years, how much money you're going to have to spend to have a baby, and that was a deterrent for some. Did anybody remember?
I remember.
Okay, these people are spending too much time on Instagram
Right,
and watching things. Okay, you can have a baby and have all hand-me-downs, all cheap stuff. My first kid slept in a drawer, not a bed.
There's a way to do it, but like I remember,
Diapers, you can't do diaper hand-me-downs. That's true.
Hold on. I will say, as someone who has a very young baby, had a baby this year, just bare bones hospital bills, and I like to think I'm somewhat of a minimalist. I'm not buying the fancy. We have a free stroller. We're not spending crazy amounts of money on all these things. An uncomplicated pregnancy for the most part, unmedicated labor, going down all these rabbit holes, we still had to spend thousands of dollars. So I do get that. And we have great insurance. So I do get the financial side of this of hey, that is a financial responsibility. And I would say it's also a question mark, because kids are unpredictable and you don't know when you're going to bring something home. I bought a new sheets the other day because we needed new sheets. I found a good deal on them and I brought them home, and my kids
wrong pattern. Oh, they could.
No. They found some markers somewhere, and then they broke I don't know what happened. Anyways, and I was like, dude, guys, I just bought these sheets. That's one silly example. But I will say, that was actually something that I really appreciated from then technically elder President Dallin H. Oaks' most recent talk. And I have it right here. Let me pull it up really quick. He said that Latter-day Saints, it's vital that Latter-day Saints do not lose their understanding of the purpose of marriage and the value of children. A few other things. The national declines in marriage and childbearing are understandable for historic reasons, but Latter-day Saint values and practices should improve, not follow those trends. And I love that he says, this is understandable. Look, we get it. It's hard to have children. It's expensive to have children. In some cases, we don't have to make it harder than it is. But we get it. It's hard. Okay. But it's worth it. And like he says, it is vital that we remember the purpose of marriage and the value of children. Children are infinitely valuable. Nothing else can, there is no way to make children other than in, how do I want to say this? My words are not coming out the way I want them to. Economies cannot produce children. Governments cannot produce children. Schools cannot produce children. So it's important that we remember the value of children, even though there are costs associated. Sorry, long rant.
I was thinking about earlier, actually, Joy, you said something earlier about how 100 years ago, we wouldn't have even had the option of choosing, like being able to like make a choice between like, oh, I just don't want kids. I just want to be, you know, double income, no kids or whatnot, because birth control wasn't around. And I have thought in recent years, especially when you look at like marriage in the past wasn't even a romantic thing. It was survival. It was like you die or you marry someone, you figure out how to survive. And I've often wondered if that is kind of the riddle or the reason that like a lot of people might not know, in our religion we believe that some really special strong spirits were preserved for these last days to kind of fight for righteousness and truth. And I've always thought maybe one of the reasons that many of us were saved for this last days is that we would choose the path of, you know, God's path of eternal life when there was no incentive left to. Like we aren't by default on this river where we just get married because we have to survive, or we have 10 kids because we have to, you know, plow the farmland and survive on the farm. Like all those built-in incentives are gone now. Those like incentives to get married and have a family and be chaste and, you know, not have a shotgun wedding, like all those social incentives are gone. In fact, the opposite is happening. And so it's like what's left is this true, pure desire to pursue eternal life through marriage and children. And that's all that's left. And so those of us now who are willing to make those choices, to obviously we see emotional, religious, eternal value. But man, you really need to believe it, because there's nothing in society that is incentivizing you for your own selfish survival reasons to get married and have children. I'm like, I think that's part of the riddle of being part of the last days is, okay, in the past, you could by default just go with the flow and make those choices. And now it's like, there's no going with the flow. Will you choose family? Yeah. Will you choose eternity? When there's no incentive socially for you to do that. You know, how many of us have heard, like, I'm sure Charlotte's heard, like, you have 6 kids? You know, you're like, thanks. Yes, I do.
Don't you have a TV, Charlotte?
Actually, we don't. That might explain it. You know, when people say that, I'm like, yeah, it's great. Wish I had more. You should have a bunch too. I was trying to get this dad at my music class to have more kids. He's like, oh, no. I'm like, yes, it's great. Okay, so you were talking about how it's like counterculture. That was one of my favorite parts of this BYU talk, as she talks about that it is counterculture. You know, we're the rebels who are wanting to have these big families. So let's go back. I'd said earlier that clip, the highest motive to have kids. I feel like, Rachel, you're tying right back into this again from the BYU speech, the clip entitled Highest Motive to Have Kids.
The highest motive is to want a child for the child's own sake. And usually this type of motive is nourished by a living religious tradition. And as a matter of empirical fact in the modern world, only that highest motive tends to bring about above replacement fertility. Because if every child is a unique, unrepeatable blessing with a destiny only he or she can fulfill, well, there's no limit to how many you could want. The highest motive is...
Oh, that was it. Yeah, so she says governments are trying to do all these things. They think, well, maybe there just aren't enough resources and that's why people aren't having kids. So they create all these different programs to try and incentivize people to have children, because so many countries are seeing that their country's doomed without more children. And she says, no, that's not the answer. The answer is that, like, we need to encourage faith. Governments need to say, okay, faith, churches, this is your thing. You deal with families. We're not going to get in your way. You promote families. You help people understand how beautiful children are, how eternal, how supernatural it is. Take care of that. And so her big invitation, her big proclamation at the end is to encourage governments to let churches, let faith schools do their thing. It's going to bless everybody.
It's good.
I loved that. And I loved that she kind of equated children with faith, and like that having children is an act of faith, right. Which I think is really, really cool. And apparent.
Joy, do you want to watch that clip? Should we be neutral?
Yes, actually, I was going to bring that up. So this is from a different video. This is from a conversation. Where did it go? With Lila Rose, Erica Abdulatif. Maybe got that wrong. On an Ellen Fisher podcast. It just popped up and I thought it was interesting and related to this. And so I listened to this podcast. And in here, Erica says something that's very profound. Erica is she hosts a podcast for dual income, no kids. It's called Dinky, I think. And Lila Rose is very pro-life advocate. So she's got a lot. Anyway, so they sit down and they have this great conversation. But something that Erica said, I think really highlighted the issue that we have. Well, just play the clip. We'll talk about it after.
You just want to be neutral. You're saying you want to be neutral. And I'm trying to understand how neutral are you wanting to be neutral?
I'm being neutral in the fact that we shouldn't elevate one position as right versus wrong. I think both choices are good if that's the choice that's good for you.
Okay, so they're saying, should we be neutral? Should we just say, do whatever you want, whatever works for you, what works in your life? Or, do we say motherhood is valuable? What just happened?
Rachel.
So I was behind one of my friends, actually, who's Catholic in my book club, and she has 7 kids and got little stick figures on the back of her van. But you know what? There was a bumper sticker that I loved, or she had a little stick on that said, do what makes you happy. And the happy was crossed out. It says, do what makes you holy.
Ooh.
Do what makes you feel happy. With the happy crossed out was do what makes you feel holy. And I was like, that's really profound.
Speaking of bumper stickers.
That was cool. This idea of it's a way of, it's just a way of the moral relativism that this woman is appealing to, which is well, everyone has their own truth. Everyone needs to do what's right for them. And that is all the same value. Go ahead, Charlotte.
I was just laughing about bumper sticker. You're talking about the stick families on the back of the car?
Yes.
I absolutely dislike when I'm, going through the grocery store parking lot and I see some bitter person who's like, my dinosaur ate your stick family. And it's this dinosaur in the stick family. Or, it's one of the AT-ATs from Star Wars, shooting all the stick family people. I'm like, oh my goodness, please stop being so negative towards family. This person is so excited about these people, about their accomplishments. You can put your accomplishments on the back of your car, the things you're proud of, but gosh, don't be excited about eating mine or shooting mine with blasters.
Right.
That person is not a familyist. Okay, but that clip was great. It was kind of that red flag of whatever works best for them, whatever works best for you. It's no, God knows best. God knows best God knows what's best for us. God knows what's best for humanity as a whole. And often what we think is right is not right. He has the truth. He has all knowledge. And what he says is the best.
Charlotte, you asked something about that graph that said how has Gen Z and some millennials just lost this value of having children? How did that message not get handed down? And I do think that women have always been responsible for handing down culture in so many ways. And I would say that just because I would caution us against saying we have the truth. With this, we need to be on guard that we don't let this worldliness and this kind of jaded skepticism or negativity about children seep into our lives and our conversation. Even I've heard it in stake activities with youth, and I think it comes from a great place for women to say to young women, go do you, go travel the world, get your education, marriage is hard, kids are hard. I know that comes from a genuinely good place of wanting to be honest and wanting to set these girls up for success. But if these girls aren't told how valuable and wonderful motherhood and marriage is, and how worth the risk it is, they're not going to have the guts. Like, they are.
Where else are they going to hear it?
Yeah. They need to hear it from us. They need to hear the how it's worth the risk. It's worth, like Brooke had said, she's like, there's nothing that I haven't done there's nothing I wanted to do that I didn't do, but if I hadn't had kids, I would regret that. Like, we have a responsibility to speak that way to the younger women.
Yes.
Absolutely. And definitely speak highly of it and teach them why it matters. I will say sometimes people get kind of panicky when we talk about the birth rate and, the birth rate's way low and all that, we don't need to panic procreate. We can
Good point.
Slow and steady. Like,
we don't need a panic procreate.
But
I
really,
like, shirt that says that.
Jeez, that's a clip.
But the world's gonna end. Panic.
Hold on. So the point though is like,
instead of keep calm and procreate. Panic and procreate.
Panic
God,
procreation.
so
but really, I hope that, don't take this away of, don't watch this video and take away like, okay, well, they say we've got to have a bunch more kids. Here we go. The point is, follow what God has in store for you. Doesn't matter, don't you do you. Don't just do whatever feels right and have fun. The point is, do what God has called for you. And maybe that is motherhood. And for many of us, it is.
And
maybe
cherish
it's
children.
not.
Cherish
children,
whoever they are. Yours,
whoever they are.
Cherish children, and promote that mindset of cherishing children.
Absolutely, whether you have children or not.
Right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been so wonderful. Oh, I just want to go hug my children. Thank you, Brooke, Joy, Rachel. This has been great. For this and more, check us out at wordradio.com.